Hello, welcome to the channel and thanks for watching. And in this video I'm going to go through the book of the Outlands and then build the cargo weight Ridgehauler. The book read through is not a full rules kind of in-depth review, just my first thoughts and what pops into my mind. And the Ridgehauler is building in the standard format, and in later videos I'm going to do some conversion work with it. So check out the times and enjoy the video. Okay, so we'll go through the boxes after we've gone through the book and to one side, and let's get into this. So quite an exciting book. Apparently involved in this is the rules for creating your own vehicles. So I've read the back, I haven't read anything else, and that's the I suppose exciting part about the book of the Outland book. Relatively nice artwork at the front. I've said probably do a preamble before I actually do this live, but I didn't go for the squats. They just don't float my boat, and obviously this is a channel geared around what I'm personally doing in the hobby, so I just didn't bother picking them up. Now I may regret that at some point and dig in and do them, but you know, right now not for me. Let's see what we see. Now the artwork is going to start off very differently, I imagine, because the previous Ash Waste book started off from the outside perspective. Oh, that's very nice. Over the gates of Hive Damocles stands a fortress that looks down upon the surrounding wasteland. I really like seeing the Hive from the outside. Very exciting, very reminiscent of Judge Dredd and the Cursed Earth, that kind of thing, which obviously is where Workshop didn't take any of it, obviously not at all, but it is a lot there. So Ash Waste Nomads, and more background and pictures. Very nice. Now I'm not going to read obviously through all this, it would take the unboxing and flick through far too long, but I am really enjoying the different backgrounds that they're putting into these books, really expanding into something we've not seen before. So shows you how to use Ash Waste Nomads in there and straight into the Ash Waste gang. Very nice. The equipment lists, the leader, the champion, Ash Waste Nomads, Watari Stormcaller, I'm going to go for that. Which is nice. So Caller Storm, perform the change weather action. That's interesting. The visibility rule is not active for this battle. Apply the visibility 24-inch rule. Otherwise, either increase or decrease the value of X, the visibility rule, by 6 to a minimum of 6. Oh, that's nice. That could be really useful. So very good. Dust Rider, so that's a prospect. And then your normal gangers and juves. So good little gang list there. Oh, another good piece of artwork. Excellent. Straight into the next gang, so the Squat Prospectors. Now this is maybe while I'll read this and regret not picking up a gang if it turns out they are ridiculously powerful, because obviously we've seen the Ash Waste Nomads in the freebie gang list that you got in the set, but this is very different. So start toughness 4, okay, that's reasonably decent, which I suppose fits in with the squats, and you imagine there's going to be a lot of extra armour, that kind of thing, if they're going to link there. I see, I like how they've done the settlements. Now the image, the artwork of the settlement there, because obviously they're buried in the sand rather than being up on the spikes. Now the artwork, I think it's actually better than the models, but there we go. We have prospectors for the gangers with their equipment lists. They can start off with the armour, carapace, fair enough, light carapace armour, flak armour, mesh armour, circular saws, all very fitting with the models that they come with. So we will skim through it, because I personally think I'm not going to do them. Wasteland gangs. Alright, so this is putting together your gang around it fighting in the wastes. Okay, so this is all vehicle crew. So Wasteland gang follows the rules for founding a gang as found in the Necromunda rulebook. Extra credits, etc. So you hire a crew, assign them a vehicle. So most gangs have access to one or more crew, with an exception the Ash Waste Nomads, who cannot include vehicles but may include many different types of macro insects. Okay, so does that mean you can add whatever gang you're after? Well, we'll have a look. So vehicle crews, most gangs have access to one or more crew, main exception Ash Waste Nomads, said already. Orlock Iron Rider, which is crew. Scum Racer, crew. Guild of Coin Haulier, crew. So they're not giving you lots of access to anyone really other than Orlocks or whatever these Scum Racers, Guild of Coin. So that's interesting. So they're not giving you Escher and all those kind of things out in the gangs, but your Scum Racers can be taken to all the gangs except the Ash Waste Nomads. Okay, so that's interesting. So they're not giving you specific like Escher crew for vehicles, you have to model them yourself. So that's good. Hangers on and brutes, we've seen this. I'm more interested in the building the vehicle rules. You can see I'm trying to flick through and get through to there. Oh, okay, so some different brutes they're adding. A nomad Arthramite Herder. Oh, okay. Available to Ashways Nomads gangs, that's alright. So, adding special ones in here, we like this. Brutes, Arthramite Dune Scuttler, only Ashways Nomads. So they're adding brutes in specifically for Ashwastes. Oh, I see. That is actually one model that I've looked at and thought that looks interesting. But available only to Ironhead Squat Prospectors. So I suppose it makes sense, give the new big things to there. Well, let's see if they're going to make anything that can be to any gang. Oh, that's a lovely bit of artwork. Outland Beastmaster, available to any gang. So I imagine it's going to be a Forge World expansion. We like that. Okay, so the Beastmasters were always in original Necromunda, and you could then buy pets for them to herd, and that looks like they're doing the same thing here. So when you add it to a gang, or at the start of the post-battle action step of the post-battle sequence, if he's got less than 3 beasts, you can purchase extra ones. So if the beasts that you buy them to get killed, obviously you can stick them in. Ripperjacks, oh, they were always useful. That's good. I like that. So, excellent. I really like the artwork, and I'm hoping the model matches up to look like that, because that's great. I'll definitely be picking one of those up. Wasteland Giant Rat and the Exotic Beasts. Millisaur, yeah, I'll look at that. And then the Ripperjacks, these are always a favourite of mine. Very kind of alien facehugger mixed with some sort of vampire bat thing. Very nice. And just beautiful artwork. So let's have a look at the Millisaur. A couple of wounds, a couple of attacks. Okay, then burrowing. Okay, can burrow beneath them through the metal and rockcrete floors of the underhive. So it's a little bit similar to the I want to say Vansar, not Vansar, Delac burrower that you can use. Right, Wasteland Workshop. So this is the thing I've been waiting for. So this is obviously how you create your gang vehicles. So let's have a look. Designing your own vehicle. So scavenge from the ash. Much the same way that when founding a gang, only a restricted list of equipment is available. You must hunt for more esoteric and rarer equipment as the campaign progresses. Now that I like the idea of. When founding a gang, only the simplest of vehicle creations are possible. In order to create more exotic and advanced vehicles, it may be necessary to build up the upgrades and war gear in your gang stash. Great idea. So, choose the base vehicle template. So we have light vehicle. I imagine we're going to have medium and heavy vehicles. Yeah, medium, heavy vehicle, walker. Oh, yes. There we go. That's going to be exciting. I have actually got, if you watched the channel before, I've got a War Dog model that I've not done anything with. I've also bought a couple of Mechanicum vehicles, and I was going to start kit bashing vehicles together, but I didn't want to do it and then find I completely couldn't use it. Even though rules are cool and you could have done something, I had heard this sort of thing was coming, so this sounds brilliant. So you buy a light vehicle, usually based on a small light chassis like the Wolf Quad, lightest and quickest vehicles, gives you a stat line. Jury rig weapon hardpoint has 1 weapon hardpoint, you can mount a weapon, and it has either the wheeled or tracked special rule decided when the vehicle is purchased. Excellent. If tracked is chosen, reduce the vehicle's movement by 1. This affects how the vehicle interacts with terrain. Okay, and you've got some upgrade slots, so we'll see how that does later. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. So much opportunity for doing things here. So we have medium vehicles, heavy vehicles with a similar thing. You can either be wheeled or tracked. You can either be wheeled or tracked, and you've got increasing add-ins. This is going to be a really, really good way of messing these out. So the walker, the same thing. It's going to give you the movement and the stats. Cobbled it together, another weapon hard point, similar things, and it gives you the upgrades. And then we've got the custom vehicle equipment list. So I think it's just, yeah. So whatever these are, we'll find out lately. Crash cage, escape hatches, extra armor, ram, transport bed. Obviously some of this has been mentioned in previous books. Oh, harpoon launcher. Right, if you've watched the channel before, you'll know why I've just got excited about this. So I'm going to pause a bit and go and grab something and talk you through kind of what I've saved this model for. Okay, I haven't got the part I was going to show you, but I've got the model. I took the part off. So if you watch the channel, you'll know I've kit bashed the Night Valiant, and I took off the harpoon launcher and made all tentacles and that kind of thing to fit in with Nurgle. And I said in that video I had a plan for that harpoon arm. Now I did this partly for rule of cool because it looked nice, but partly because I chose this knight, even though the other knight's probably a little bit better, because I wanted the harpoon for a Necromunda project. Now in my mind, Dune C is all about big gribbly monsters and things, obviously, and I kind of thought it might be a little bit like a Dune worm that was going to come out of the ground. So I wanted a harpoon launcher on some sort of vehicle. In my head it was going to be potentially on the back of a big truck or a small medium truck. So I'm glad that they've got these things are in here and you can add this into your vehicles. So I'm going to have to hope that harpoon launcher is interesting, but I will definitely be building a vehicle with a harpoon launcher on at some point. So keep an eye on that one. If anyone wants to steal that idea, steal away. I'm sure someone else has already come up with that point anyway. Now we have the body upgrades. Excellent. So you can see here, these are obviously going to be rare trade later on in the campaign, because you've got like rare 9, rare 9. I'm assuming they're going to tell you the common ones can go on when you fit it. Yeah, so fit vehicles. Each vehicle template has a number of set of upgrade slots. That's fine. Purchasing the trading post in the same manner as other equipment. When creating a vehicle, it can either be purchased in a trading post or used from the gang's stash. Okay, so fairly similar. All the engine upgrades and that kind of thing. So there'll be lots of reading to see. So we'll just pick a couple and we'll see what it does. So assuming you can say fit ablative armour. Vehicle fitted with ablative armour treats the first non-glancing hit it suffers to body location in each battle as a glancing hit. Okay, relatively useful. Reinforced armour increases its starting hit points by 1. That's fine. And transport cage. Transport cage is an enclosed cab on a vehicle designed to carry fighters. Okay, I like that. Number of fighters able to fit a transport cage is determined by its size. Small ones can hold 3, large ones 6. Excellent. So you can build yourself a transport. And then you've got war gear. Excellent. Oh, it's going to be so exciting. Caltrop launchers. You can lay Caltrop mine layer. Oh yeah, this is going to be so much kind of interesting vehicles you're going to be able to kit bash. I think it's going to really make Necromunda Ashwaste sort of very exciting and very different when you're playing the games. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of Ridgehaulers and a lot of the Orlock quads, but just the homemade vehicles are going to be so much more interesting. Ridge Runner, everyone's been using these things anyway, because it's just a brilliant looking vehicle from Gene Stealer Cult. So yeah, great, you can add this into any gang. Brilliant, that's what we want. And then yeah, Rock Grinder. Wolf Quad, obviously it's going to be a new vehicle coming out at some point, I would imagine. We've not seen this, so this is a Wolf Quad as one weapon hard point. Yeah, doesn't really say what it is, but it's any gang. And the Rock Grinder, again, a Gene Stealer Cult vehicle that's just really just suitable for converting into Necromunda anyway. We have the Cargo Ridgehauler, which I'll be unboxing in a second. And again, we've seen this because the rules for the Ridgehauler are in the actual Ash Wastes book to give you a sense of how vehicles work, so very, very good. And then the trailer. This was interesting. So, Munitorum armoured container, which the vehicle comes with, and it gives you obviously some supplies that are in there, but you can have Promethean tank, the walkway along the top of the Promethean tank is a transport area, high pressure gas, whatever. So there's going to be some either stuff they're going to release, it's going to be different, or you're just going to have to scratch build it. Now this is nice. So the Cargo Ridgehauler or Ash Rig comes in a wide variety of colours and designs, offering hobbyists with almost limitless options. Great, so we've got one here with an all-lock vehicle on the back of it and some crates at the front. I like that. Then obviously we've got the normal cargo trailers, but just some different colour schemes. Oh, that's nice. That's some sort of, it says there, Van Xar Technica pattern cargo 8, carrying some sort of bit of machinery. And then we've got all sorts of different crates. This, you could do this with the parts from the Underhive market and, you know, cover it in. That's really good. And with that saying actually pilgrim pattern, you assume that's going to be something to do with Cawdor perhaps. So I like all these options. Yeah, good. Nice. Battlefield conditions. So it's just some expansion rules on this. And we like this. Oh look, here's some more ideas. It's always great to see assembled kits. Now they're not going to do some crazy kit bashes in here, I wouldn't imagine, because I'm going to try and sell you the obviously original kits, but it just starts to build up a pattern of, you know, what you can do. And some painted models. Now the squats, I said they don't float my boat. I don't know why. I loved the original squats. I had a squat army. I was actually particularly excited for squats to come back, and I, as you've seen before on the channel, have got the squat bounty hunters and things, but just some of these and these models don't float my boat, so I haven't gone for them. Again, maybe at some point, maybe they'll grow on me. And some additional rules. Gang tactics. So if you've bought the cards, which I've got already, I imagine these will be gang tactic cards there. There will be back matches. Skills. Always nice and different things. T-Bone. If this cruise vehicle has a head-on collision with another vehicle or terrain feature, this vehicle may add D3 to its front toughness characteristic. It's a little add-on. It's very nice. More artwork. Vehicle rules. Obviously this has been covered already. So as it says here, all the rules needed to add vehicles to your game to Necromunda. These rules expand upon the core rules printed in the Necromunda rulebook. So this has been in the Ashways book. So I suppose good in a way if you've not bought the Ashways book, you don't need these, but it kind of feels like if you have bought the Ashways book, you're kind of duplicating some of it in here. But fair enough, I suppose. Not everyone's going to buy every single book, which I thoroughly understand given the price of the books for one and how often they get repeated, I guess. So this is just a repetition of what is in the Ashways book, but pretty good if you're going to do that. And some ideas for the Thetos pattern hub modules, as they call them. Now, for those of you interested, I have got another idea for another set of hub modules I'm going to do. We've already done one set on the channel, which you can take a look at, but I have come up with another idea of some hub modules, and I will reveal that later on the channel at some point. So that's a flick through the book. That's actually a very nice book. For me, personally, the Squat Gang, not interested. The Nomad Gang, again, that's not the interesting part of the book. For me, the interesting part of the book is this middle section here, where it tells you the vehicle rules. That is brilliant. I'm really looking forward to bashing out some different vehicles, whether it be walkers, and I think, to be honest, I want to do a real ragtag kind of gang, and I think that will be brilliant. So we'll certainly get some use out of this. Love it. Right, now let's get into these Ridgehauler and the Ridgehauler trailer. See, I don't really know why they wrap these in so much plastic. Seen some of the boxes, I think when we unboxed Ashways, I was quite impressed by the fact they've removed a lot of the plastic and just sealed this with like a small sticker. So why they can't do that with these, I'm not quite sure. Now, it's a nice looking vehicle. That's the main reason I picked it up to start with. When I saw this launched, it just looked like a brilliant looking vehicle. Got plenty of armour containers already. Nice to have more. And actually this looks like a different add-on to the armour container, because the original armour container you get the marine add-on, which is probably in the box anyway. So let's get into this. Ooh, now those wheels are bigger than I thought they would be. Yep, so this is an extra little add-on sprue to build the crew that are leaning out the top of the armoured container. Very nice. And then a couple of very big wheel sprues. Okay, so identical sprues. I imagine you're going to get maybe just one of these in the trailer, depending on the wheels. Yeah, I think maybe just one, we'll see. Nice there. Identical armoured container sprue. If you've built Munitorum armoured containers before, that is just the exact same sprue. Got plenty of them already, but always good to have more. Even if you're not going to build this on the back of the vehicle, very good just for general Necromunda use. And then a couple of sprues to make the vehicle. And then we just have the instructions, so we'll get to them. Ooh, and some transfers. Now, this is quite entertaining. So you've got all the different gang transfer sheets, that's good. Little danger signs and things, that's always useful. Lots of just numbers and things generic. I don't often use transfers, but you know, it might be worth it. We have Metallica, one of the Forge Worlds, Armageddon, Talon, and Birmingham. Yeah, believe it or not, that's going back years. I think that's even Rogue Trader days that Birmingham was actually listed as the, I might say it wrong, but I'm sure it's the Black Planet or the Black Country Planet or whatever, because obviously Birmingham in the UK is known as the Black Country, or that area is. And yeah, Birmingham was the Black Planet, and it was like kind of a Forge World, I think it was. So bringing that back is very, very strange. There we go. And there's other ones in here as well. Golgotha, Lucius, Badab, and Terra. Again, not the same there, so they're the duplications in just a different colour. Really like those. Really nice little transfer sheets. Probably won't use them myself, but well, I'll never know, I might. I do use transfers occasionally. So it looks like an interesting vehicle. We'll build that shortly and see what we get. But actually, that's going back a second. That gives me some ideas actually, because this is going to be a two-part kind of mounting to hold the crate onto the vehicle. Now I do fancy doing some sort of loading bay in the underhive, so if you've watched the channel before, you'll know I'm doing some underhive scenery. I'm doing it as kind of like a rail yard and a loading area, so it might be interesting to try to draw some of this into the underhive as well as just using it for ash waste. So it's starting to give me some ideas when I'm building these together. Right, now let's get into the Ridgehauler. We're into the Ridgehauler trailer, should I say, sorry. Okay, so the trailer actually comes with two the same sprues, so they're getting a lot of value for money out of the press machine that's making these sprues, so two of those. It's a much simpler kit, this one, as you would expect, because it's the trailer armoured container. So again, just means you've got a couple of those to add to the stash. And then this actually looks like the same sprue that you came with this here. So is it? It is. So let's compare this. So actually the basis of both is a very, very similar build, and then you convert, obviously the top, you build a kind of superstructure on top of it. Okay, which fair enough, I get that. It's going to look very nice together. So a couple of sprues is basically paying for. You've got the same transfer sheet in there. Very good. Right, let's see how these go together. Now I thought actually the trailer in one of those artwork pictures we saw only had 6 wheels, unless that was just an artwork picture, or maybe there's some alternate builds in here, and we'll take a look when we get to that. Before I actually start the build, I'm just going to show the instructions. So yes, you can build it either 6-wheeled or 8-wheeled. Now this is news to me because I don't really keep an eye on what's going on other than looking at some pretty pictures, but I think that's brilliant. I'm going to go for 2 6-wheeled builds, purely because then that's going to give you 2 sets like this, and you should then be able to hopefully put together a little 4-wheeled section, and maybe I can use that to add something into this wheeled vehicle kind of creation, and kit bash that up into something extra. So that's what I'm going to go for. So let's crack on to the 6-wheeled builds that I'm going to do. So with the 6-wheel vehicle comes a lot of wheels, obviously. Now these are actually very nice to put together, quite easy. I have found Games Workshop wheels over the years. Some can be a little bit, awkward or messy or whatever it is. These go together quite nicely in 2 parts. And I would say in general, the kit instructions in this one are fairly good. When you get to the stage here where you're building the sort of sub-chassis, just pay attention to which parts you're doing, and the numbering, although it is correct, it's not super clear on where some of these bits go. So test fit everything before you glue it together. But a really nice sub framework that you're building for both these vehicles, and as I said in the unboxing, it is the same subframe that you then build the superstructure of the actual hauler on. So the trailer and the hauler both come on the same superstructure. Now I've done both in 6 wheels, put them both in the same format, so relatively easy to go through. You don't really have to have any kind of fancy modelling techniques to do these, nothing like that. There's no awkward stages. One of the better kind of big vehicle models I think they've done. Now you see here on to the stage, you can see the 4 wheels in front there. These are the spares, so I've built them up, and in a later video I am going to convert these into a trailer to go on the end of the rig. Now here, I'm not going to go through exactly how to do moulding with blue stuff to cast up parts, but just as a note, I am casting up some of the mud guards that go on the trailers, because when I do the extra trailer that I want to convert out those 4 spare wheels, I'm going to need some extra parts. So something I do quite a lot is taking up little mini casts of parts of the model, and I will do another separate video of how to do this. I have got a video on the channel already, which I'll link below, but I'm going to do a newer one, a bit more updated, because I have changed in the last year or so some of the methods I use to make these moulds. But definitely a good little technique, especially when you're going to kit bash later, because then you don't have to buy an extra kit to get some of those parts. And obviously I'll give a bit more of an in-depth one. And there's 2 options when you are building the actual trailers. You've got this kind of deck, and the load deck goes in, and that basically is a way you can stack containers and crates and things. If you don't put this load deck on, that's where the armoured containers slot in. Now I've built the crew loose at the moment. I may glue them in before painting, but I've kept them loose. I think that might be a bit easier. Now you've got here the little strut on the roof. I'm just slowing it down to show you this. It kind of clips in there. So you can assemble this but still make the roof removable. Just watch it that when you put that extra little strut in, you don't glue it into the bottom, because then the roof won't come off. And if you're going to try and get to the crew, make your life easier, you might want to do that. So that's just how I've done there and left all the crew loose, as I said. Final part of the build really is just building all the accessories that come with the Unitorum armoured containers. Really nice, real nice accessory sprue. What I would say about the general vehicle, I followed the exact build instructions, didn't do anything jazzy at this stage, and it's gone together really nicely. Real nice vehicle, not too hard to build. Left a little link pin that you can see there that you don't glue, that clips the trailers together. Normally I glue everything down, but in this case I've again left that. As I said before, kept the roof loose. In terms of value, these are not the best value of Games Workshop kit. They're not super expensive, but to do this kind of trailer, especially if you want to put a third sort of trailer on, you're talking £75–80 you get it from a gaming store, so it's not a cheap kit. Kind of why I'm going to use some of the spare wheels to make a sort of extra trailer, cut down on cost kind of thing. Now here's the containers. I've kept it separate. I'm sure you could obviously glue it in. I may glue it in at some point, and it slots very, very nicely into the trailer. Now, in a sense, it'd be nice if they didn't supply the container and kept the cost down for the trailer and you could do your own thing, but I do understand that not everyone's already got containers, although it'd be very unusual for a Necromunda player not to have some of these armour containers knocking around, because you see them on practically every board. Real nice to have the accessories. I've kept them again loose. I'm not going to use these for the actual hauler. I'm going to do something different into there, but nice to have these, and these are brilliant bits of accessories to drop around any kind of Necromunda scenery. You do also on the sprues get lots of little accessory pieces, sort of other little boxes that we've not seen the same style, so nice that they're dropping in some new style bits of kit that you can obviously glue over the hauler. Now I've not glued any of them on at the moment because I'm not entirely sure how the final build is going to go, but what I would say about the vehicle, it's a really nice, real nice addition to Necromunda. Builds really nicely, fairly simple, gives you a lot of extra spares, just showing the wheels there again, and you know, something that if you are into ash waste, absolutely great. And if you're not into ash waste and you're just into Necromunda, this would make a really good piece of scenery to fight over in your underhive terrain, as though it's being loaded, ready to head out into the ash wastes. So yeah, that's my ramble through the book. That's my little bit of a description about how to build the model. Keep watching the channel because I will be doing some more work on this later on and showing you how I customise it to fit in. Cheers for watching.